there, Tad Hargrave here from Marketing for Hippies, sitting here in my front porch. And I just wanted to share some stories that have come out from the last mentorship retreat where I work with, I feel like I'm making a commercial for it, but I work with about 12 clients more in depth. And so twice a year we have a retreat in my living room, just over there. And there were a number of examples of point of view marketing that came up that I want to share since I've been on a roll about that. So one is one of my clients is a doula, and she was really struggling with, do I put out posters for a workshop? There's this big fear of pain, of course, for a lot of mothers, especially first-time mothers. And should I be speaking to the pain in the ads, because I don't want to put out and feed this meme that birth is painful and all this? But as we kept digging, we realized it wasn't the pain to be spoken to, it was the fear of the pain. And that she actually had the opinion that this fear of pain is part of what makes the pain worse. The fear of pain, has all these messages women get that birth will be painful, have them show up more tense, more tight, that there's a number of mechanisms, in the body that get engaged, in addition to the other things that can make a birth more painful. So that became a very compelling piece to say, well, okay, if that's true, if it's the fear of the pain, or if that doesn't help, if that makes it worse, and that's a big theme of the workshop, is fundamentally trying to address that fear. Let's put that in the sales letter. Let's have that be one of the main themes of the sales letter. So again, we're kind of taking this island A of I'm scared of birth being really, really painful to I feel prepared for birth. I feel, confident that I'll be able to handle whatever comes up, that type of feeling. Then she needs to share her take on how that journey gets made. She needs to share her take on even, why is it that we're so scared? Where is this fear coming from? So that was one example. Another was just a general holistic practitioner who I've spoken about in past videos, where she realized that a lot of her clients are coming to her with sort of mysterious physical symptoms, some pain or some discomfort or some symptom that they can't explain, but they're beginning to suspect that there's some emotional cause to it. Yeah. So island A, I have that symptom, there's some cause, but I also suspect there may be some emotional connection. And then island B would be, I'm really clear what the emotional connection is, what's the emotional thing underlying whatever the symptoms are. So her point of view is going to be explaining this journey. How do we get you from not being clear what the emotional root is to being clear? And what do I mean by, emotional root? And how could emotions have anything to do with this? In case you're doubting it, you think maybe, but you're not sure. So she's got to make the case that, number one, our emotional states and reality can have an impact on our symptoms. And how does that mechanism work? And what's the process for finding out what the emotional root is? And then, possibly even what do you do after that? Though the island B, I think she's offering really is like, we'll just help you get clear what it is. And then there's another process for clearing it. A third example, there was a fellow who works with people in leadership positions, and of course, one of the difficult things for people in leadership positions is you get feedback, and the feedback isn't always pretty, or said very gently, can often be pretty harsh and very difficult in the times we're living in, so polarizing. People, it's easy for leaders to just be kind of taken down or dismissed or lose their positions because of one misstep, or if they don't take the feedback well. So it's a fairly high stakes thing, maybe always, but particularly in these times. And so in the class, I said, I want to know what your point of view is on how do you deal with feedback as a leader? What's your take on this? And he wrote up these 8 steps of how to deal with feedback. If you get some hard feedback, what do you do? First, secondly, it was brilliant. And then as we spoke, he also said, we've been talking a lot. He works to bring leaders together in groups and sort of councils to work with each other. And it just came out. We finally said, yeah, I just think leaders need to be in some kind of council. It's so genius, It's such a simple thing. It's such a simple point of view. It kind of relates to one of the ebooks I have called Don't Market Yourself, Market Your Message. That could be an example of a message, but a message is just a distilled point of view anyways. So what he's saying is, yeah, it's hard being a leader. You can really struggle, and then you can have a place where you feel really good and confident or successful being a leader. And my take on that journey is it's very hard to do unless you have support. You know, if you're trying to do it alone, almost certainly not going to happen. You know, or much too hard. You'll burn out way faster. And if you have a council, if you have a group or something that you can be a part of that can support you, then that'll be easier. So that's, again, a point of view. So those are a number of examples of how point of view can show up in marketing. And as soon as the point of view becomes clear, as soon as it's well articulated, our trust in the person who's selling whatever they're selling goes up, or down if we disagree with the point of view. But it filters, it makes things very clear. So where does point of view come from for a service provider? You have island A, you have island B. You've got the problems they're struggling with, the results that they're craving. You've got to make the case, why are they stuck here? What's holding them back, and what's going to get them here to island B? So I hope those examples help. I know sometimes examples help. And yeah, that's it for today. Thanks so much.